What's happening, Real Filmers? I'm here at the 2015 AwesomeCon, and I have here with me special guest George Newbern. How you doing, man?
Good to see you.
Good. Well, first off, here we are, day 2 of AwesomeCon.
Yep.
Have you had an opportunity to venture out, into DC? And if so, have you had an opportunity to visit any places?
I haven't yet. I'm going to tonight. I think I'm going to go to the Capitol, and that should be neat. And then I've got a Ford's Theater thing to do tomorrow. It should be pretty neat. I actually played at I did a musical at the Ford's Theater when I was 13 years old. A musical,
wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I've actually played the Ford's Theater.
All right.
Right where Lincoln was shot.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so congratulations with everything that you've had the opportunity to do, whether it's with voice acting or even with Scandal, which we'll get into in a second.
Sure.
So with Superman, can you talk a bit of what the thought process was in bringing that voice to life, and what was behind it?
It was a good job. That was my first motivation. No, I've always been a big cartoon fan of Superman and cartoons in general. Not as much comic book per se, but I follow the superheroes and stuff. And when I got the job, I was like wow, really me? How
right.
I was
so
kind of
iconic,
shocked
right.
a little bit. It was just another audition for me. So, but it ended up being like a 11, 12-year job that kept going on and on and on for for the series Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and then movies, direct movies, and then games and all the rest of it. So, but I basically just thought, wow, I have what a responsibility to get to do Superman and to honor the virtues and everything he stands for. So I try to not be a schmuck.
Okay.
Right?
All right. So with that being said, currently there's such a trend right now with the superhero genre.
Yeah.
What is your thought on why that's kind of come to the forefront, recently in the last few years?
Because I think it's such it's escape from reality, and yet at the same time it's almost like a morality play. It's a morality tale to people to sort of say, hey, look, good versus evil is pretty cut and dry,
basic,
right? Pretty
yeah.
basic. We live in a world there's so much gray now. There's very few people are able to say this is right, this is wrong, because so many people are like, well, it's all relative. and yeah, that's true to a certain extent. But what I think the allure of it is that people can escape into it, and it's a world where right and wrong is clearly defined, and people crave that in many ways.
Okay, cool. So jumping off of that, as I said, with Superman, now that they have the new film coming out with Batman and Superman, what are your thoughts about it? And are you excited to check it out?
I'm thrilled. I love any superhero. I love the Avengers. I love all the Justice League. Anything that comes out, I'm a big fan of. I can't wait to see it.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
All right, so as I said earlier, I have a lot of viewers out there, especially my colleague here, who's a big fan of Scandal and the character that you have on Scandal.
Yeah.
So I know that there's so much that you can't say about what's happening on that show. But can you comment on what's been happening, or any hints of what we can expect?
I think you can expect after the finale. It looks like Mellie Grant looks like has political aspirations of her own.
Okay.
I think that's going to play out pretty well. I don't know how exactly, but and I think there's going to be more Olitz. There's going to be more of Olivia and the president in some way. I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm not telling anything you don't already know. But
right.
but it's the writers are so smart at what they do. They seem to on purpose write themselves into a corner and then come out swinging in a new way. And I think that's a tribute to them. And as actors, we're sort of the last to know. But it's always been so fun to whatever they serve up. It's been a real pleasure.
All right, great. Well, George, thank you so much for
bet.
your time,
You bet.
and there you have it, Real Filmers. Till next time.